Good morning. It's still morning too. Thank you very much for joining me. Today's reading is going to be How Do They See You? We're going to do a spread which is basically about you, but it's what energy do you kick out? How do people view you? Looking through the eyes of lovers and friends. There'll still be similarities there, I'm sure. You've got three choices. Choice number 1 is Periwinkle Storm. Choice number 2 is Fire Tiger Monk, and choice number 3 is Sundown Doe. So if you want to take your choice, and then we'll have a look.
La música de Harry Fraud.
Okay, I want to put more cards out, but I think I may drown myself if I put some more out at the moment, so I may add on. How do people see you? First impressions in this pile, the first pile, is there's 2 different separate parts to you. You're like tough, and there's an innocence in here. And as I'm putting the pile out, the other night we sat outside to eat, which is quite rare, but the weather's been really warm, very rare here. It was a night that all the Northern Lights were seen in the north of England, and my brothers texted me pictures. I thought I didn't see them, and I was out really late. Anyway, when I came in, something about Mary was on the TV, so I sat watching it for a bit. It was quite late. And just the personality, the part that she played has very much got this feeling, because she plays a part where she's got a good job and, you know, she's that type of desirable in that way, but there's also an air of innocence about her, hence why the whole film is about her being stalked or people taking advantage of her and all these men fall in love with her. That's what the feeling you have about you in this spread and how people see you. I'll translate it through the eyes of lovers and friends afterwards once I've got more familiar with it. You've got the Emperor card here, which is somebody who is got it sussed in outward world, you know, somebody who has that job, who is quite focused, who comes across as having themselves sorted out. So when somebody asks them a question, they know where they're coming from. It's not like you're trying to adjust yourself internally. It can often be a little bit sort of fixed in some way, because it is the square, which is like, these are my boundaries and I know who I am. With the Chariot card again, it's got that focused feeling. So to me, it's like you don't have time for rubbish or silliness, and to me, it's like busy, or you know who you are and what you want to be. So that's the impression that you give. Then you've got here the Knight of Wands with the 2 of Cups. You put those 2 together and it's a bit like a Lothario. It's a bit like a Don Juan type of feeling. It's got that feeling. It was Don Quixote, I don't know. Was that Don Quixote? I don't know. It's got a feeling of, it's a bit like, it's like a sweet, it's like Thumper the Rabbit being on heat, to be honest. That's a bit sort of rampant and getting your needs met, and a strong desire nature and moving towards people, and people will be able to sense that from you, even if you're quite quiet and maybe shy. The 2 of Cups is an element of, to me, it's like looking for a partner, a romantic feeling. So it's like busy, focused, tough, confident, not easily swayed. Then you've got this element over here, which is playful, childlike, sensitive, sweet. And that maybe when this bit falls apart, as with that something about Mary feeling that, yeah, she may have a fantastic job, I can't remember what she was, and she may look as, you know, she's got it all sussed in that way, but when love comes around the corner, you'll basically, I can say lose your shoes, I don't know what that means, but I had this image of like these, like, you know, those Turkish slippers that you bring back from Turkey, all curling up with excitement. So that's what I've got initially. It's a bit sort of strange, isn't it? Anyway, you've got here again a very steady card, a very much, it's like an aim, a material aim, but to have the people married in front of me or getting married in some way or connected, okay, I've got this feeling. I've got this feeling. I know somebody who has this energy. it's like a Leo type energy with a little bit of Cancer in it. It's energy that is very proud, very strong, very good with others. It's like the child that everybody wanted to come and play. You know, all the parents wanted you around the house because you could talk to adults, you could play with kids, you were fun, you were polite. But there's also an element in here of you where you're a romantic soul, maybe quite creative in some way. And when you fall in love, you really fall hard. There's a feeling here as well, there's something quite conventional about you. I don't know what I mean by conventional. It's that you like the thought of finding that partner and settling down and that being it. There's a playfulness inside you, but I feel that once you find somebody, it turns into fixity and it's like, that's the one. So, and I know with these like MBTI things, to me, in my head, I don't know these very well at all, but it's like ESFJ. I know that bit. And that is what it feels like. It's like everybody loves you and you're confident, but the Knight of Wands is very much immersed in getting your desires met. So you may enjoy food, you may enjoy just basically exploring life, and there's a verve in that, but it's very romantic as well. Hence the Cancerian type Leo feel here. The Hangman upside down, I don't know what that is as yet. I shall find out. To me, with a Pentacle card here, it could very much be that these larger major arcana cards, which are focused and sort of outward focused in trying to, I'm going to say conform again, but to me it's like making a cake. It's like making a pie and you're putting the crust over the top and it's finished. It's like you trying to cement something, some bit of life, and say, well, that's what I've got. And the Hangman here to me is, I know what I'm thinking, but I'm going to put an extra card in. Should I tell you what I'm thinking beforehand? It's almost like you lose a part of yourself that's very sort of innocent and childlike and sweet and forward moving, and that it may be the most beautiful part of yourself by trying to focus in the outward world. And that may just be age, that may just be growing older and having to work. As a kid, you may be more like this. And I'm wondering what that means, because this to me is the Hangman is, upside down. Is part of yourself that's blocked off and you've tried to become really sort of straight and sensible. To me, this is lovely. These two cards together are the best part of anybody or everybody. Is that ability to connect with people, which is basically one of the reasons that we're here, full stop. And then the Knight of Wands here is that energy of life that runs through you, which not everybody has, and some people it dwindles when you're ill, or it dwindles as you get older, and that is beautiful as well. And that needs nurturing. And I feel here that this is me thinking, and I've got to translate to what people are saying, that people may be seeing that you're hiding that. You're hiding those bits. They get a taste of it and they want more of it. But maybe with this sensible card in the middle, and these cards are being focused and being sort of collected in the outside world, that you've got a little bit lost in that. Hence why you've got this card here. You've got the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Swords card here under the card where you wrap yourself up with your own thought processes and you do things that you think that you ought to be doing. And I feel a lot of people do that, especially if you're interested in tarot or astrology and looking inside yourself. So you can almost sniff people's energy. And if you're not antagonistic in any way, what you do is Pisces people understand this, you can form yourself so that you're giving the person what they need. Pisces and other signs as well. But I think Pisces mainly do that very well. I know lots of Pisces people who struggle with that. They say, I don't know who I am, or, everything I do because somebody else suggests it, and I go and see this band, or I go to this country, or I do that because they've suggested it, and I'm quite easygoing, and which is true. And yeah, that is true here. So maybe you've blocked off some of your nature is probably what I'm trying to say here. And you're trying to be sensible. You could do a whole year of tarot readings on how not to do that, really. I could. On how not to cut out your inner child. And I think people may be sensing that from you. It's like, and I've said this before in other readings, we've got adverts here in the UK where they get people who are sensible, grown-up people, like policemen, or just like people in, corporate meetings, and they're eating these little like jelly babies, like gummy sweets, and when they eat them, they've got their kids' voices, they've got voices in, and they're just saying really childish things. I like the really ones with the pink ears, that type of thing, and then they're all dressed up in work. This is what this feels like. A little bit like, I think people are yearning for more playfulness out of you, more romanticism, is that a word? No, it's not, is it? Not in that sense. Oh, yeah. If you pull that down, if you pulled that energy away and took a step back into life, and played that little bit much and little bit more, or loved that little bit more, or experimented, or had that curiosity come back. I feel that you would I feel that it would have to be done in a very tempered way, because I've got a funny feeling here. It's like the monk that gives up everything. Not the monk, it's like the person who wants to become a monk and sells the house and does the drastic thing and gives all their clothes away and then disappears to an ashram for 6 months and then regrets it. There's a feeling here that to do that is the way forward, but you may be fighting it. You think, well, that was the old me, or that didn't work, or somebody hurt me. There is a message in here that people will pick up that you... I don't know if there's people picking this up or just me. The Venus card here is physically beautiful, good looking. The way that you speak makes people melt. But there may be an element here that people are yearning for that, but you don't want to let it go. You feel that, well, I've struggled really hard to get where I am, so I'm not going to go back to that childish me that laughed at everybody's jokes and was open to everything and everybody, because that could be quite painful in life. And we all get a little bit bruised, don't we? And we come out a little bit harder, but it's knowing when to harden up and why, and when to keep yourself in your most beautiful state, which is vulnerable and open. So what I've got here, how do friends see you? I would say they see you as being slightly absent. They want to play with you. They like it when you laugh. They like it when you play. They like it when you instigate things, and they like your silliness. They like your... This is like friends, like walk around the street holding each other a little bit. I don't know if I've done that because it's so uncomfy to walk. I must have done to know it's uncomfy. Is that they like your warmth, and they like the fact that you're there for everybody else, and there's a security about you, but it's still got that sort of, as I keep saying, innocence and playfulness. I feel they think they've lost you a little bit with the Emperor card and the Chariot card, that you are very focused on something else, possibly something very sort of sensible, outward orientated. And you may sense that already, and they may know that you sense that, but there's a fear of letting that go because it may have taken a long time to obtain it or attain it. You're cutting that off from yourself. They believe, possibly, and this may be a conversation you've had already, where friends will say, go away for the weekend, or just, let things go, leave your job, leave your work there, leave that person that makes you be a little bit more grown up, and just come and play and have fun. Let's go away for a holiday. And you're like, well, no, I can't, I can't redo it. It doesn't make sense. And you almost shut it off completely. You may go through the conversation with them, maybe next year, or maybe I'll leave the job that I work too hard on, and they're trying to beg you. But to be honest, with these cards here, which are locked in with your mind, two very mental cards, the Hangman here and the upside down Hangman, and the Two of Swords here, it's like, I'm being polite to you, but I blocked you off as soon as you mention it. And they know that too. This is like friends that want you to play. You've got friends here that remember when you were silly and stupid and, wet yourself laughing and that type of thing. And they miss that, is what I would say. With lovers, it's going to be a different matter. Lovers will see you as being very desirable, very, the Venus card there, very collected, very composed with the Emperor and the Chariot card there. And there's a feeling that you put a face on possibly to look like you can cope or you can maintain or can control yourself, and they know that if they played with that they could pull that down, but they wouldn't want to make you feel vulnerable. They know there is a fun side to you and a very sexy side to you and a very strong romantic side to you, and that you could drop everything, not your pants. You could drop everything. If somebody could just ping your button with regards to love, if you found that person, they can smell the search, if you know what I mean. You may try and be sensible and control, but they know what you're really looking for, or some particular person knows what you're really looking for, and you're trying to, it's like ignore them, or you've got this sort of like batting people back card here, the 7 of Wands, and you've got the 4 of Wands as well, which is staying still. It's like you can't entertain people. And I've seen this in people, I've seen this in men who get quite angry if they see, this is unusual I know, if they find somebody attractive. But I don't think you get angry, I think you sort of like, oh, I haven't got time. Men, women, lovers, they recognise it, if that makes sense. It's like you're not entertaining it. So that's what I've got there. How do people see you? Let's put a few cards out. What are you really hiding from people? It's like I'm being structured because I want to feel complete. So they may see this, but there may be a part of you that wants to be more organised, wants to be more collected. Maybe you've had past lifetimes of being all over the place. You know, that sort of Piscean mutability that we were talking about. So it may serve you to be more structured, even though they may sense that your basic core could have that sort of Pisces lover bit about you. That sort of, I really do yearn for being at one with somebody else. Let me put one more card out. My advice for you is you're on the right track, is carry on as you are. You've got the 7 of Swords here, you've got the 6 of Swords here and here. So it's like, this isn't the time. This isn't the time to release and let go. But you know, to give up the job or to give up the being controlled or being organised or striving in life or focusing yourself and to go in a different way in love, it's not the right time. That may come, but at the moment I think it's like a karmic feeling of just going through things for a reason that may make sense later on. But to summarise here before I go, friends want to play with you, lovers sense there's a playfulness there, but that you're not ready to play with them, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to leave that there, pile number 1. I hope that makes sense to you. I never know, but I always hope. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. Bye. Pile number 2, this is my 5th start, I think. I've had very unusual things happen, hence the blue ball here. Very boring things happened, like rambling to myself, losing the top off my microphone. I just hope it just came off at the beginning of pile 2. So here we go. What we've got here is, how do friends see you? How do lovers see you? There's a feeling here you're quite dangerous but fun. There's a feeling here that you are very focused and fixed. And there's an element here of being lost in fantasy that may not serve you at times. I'll tell you why I'm saying this. You've got the hangman upside down. When the hangman's this way around, he's watching life, he's understanding it, his crown chakra is open, so he's got that insight, that sort of awareness of what is really going on with people, situations, life, love. But yours is that way around, so you're not you're not so sure, you don't care. The reason that you don't care, because you've got the Nine of Water here, is in life you enjoy yourself, you're happy, which can be a positive. It's like self-fulfillment. I did say self-indulgent at one point, but there may be that element in there. I was looking for the positive and negative ways to interpret this card. Self-indulgent, it could be one, because there's normally this card of somebody sat with all drinks around them. But it could be very indulgent with regards to love, and I would interpret that as that you love to fall in love, and when you fall in love, it's like you're lost and you enjoy that feeling. The reason that I possibly will move towards that is because you've got Pluto here. Pluto is fixed, and when Pluto falls in love, it's not very easy to let that love go. And I think the fantasy element in here as well with the Nine of Cups, that you may enjoy the idea of being in love and be very, very engrossed in it, and people may see that, and there may be an element of trying to shake you out of that. Well, what do you think about that person? The Two of Cups. I know, and you just feel that there's a connection there, and I know, and I can feel it. You've got down here the Four of Wands and the Hierophant card. To be honest, with those two being fours, they're adding to the fixity here of the Pluto. So to me, there's an element of stubbornness in you as well. So it's very difficult to get you to change your mind once you've decided on something or somebody. Again, the Four of Swords can be an element of quiet or sleeping or not being aware. And the Two of Wands here, which is looking out with the crystal ball. It's like, going back to this card here, she doesn't care whether there's going to be a bison falling down the waterfall on top of her, because she's enjoying a little shower. And this is the same feeling here. Maybe you don't care what's going to happen in the future, because you're enjoying the connection, the fantasy, the being engrossed in the sensation of the whole event or events. That sort of like, I can shut my eyes to it type of feeling. So I'm guessing friends see you as romantic, but possibly sometimes to your own detriment. And maybe you'll know this if this is your power, because you'll have friends who would have said to you, that relationship isn't good for you. Why do you fancy them? They can see perhaps the person a little bit clearer, but you're like, well, no, it's my soulmate. The Two of Cups. It's, I really feel drawn towards them, and I can sense it, and that's where I'm going. Fixed. And at Nine of Wands here, it could be an uphill struggle. To me, there's a lovely feeling here of what I guess is maybe difficult for you, that your friends support you anyway. Because of this feeling here, with the Pluto in positive ways, Pluto is very, what's the word? Faithful. And I feel that you're faithful with your friends, and they sense that, so they support you, but they wish, it's like they want to slap you with a wet kipper when you fall in love type of feeling. As I say, these are the cards. I don't know if it feels right for you. The Ten of Swords makes me think as well with this Pluto, it's like all or nothing. And your friend's like, oh my God, he's in love again, or she's in love again. And that's it. And they've lost you. And I don't mean they've lost you literally, like you don't talk to them, but it's like there's no pulling you back until you've got your desires met, or something happens and you think, oh, well, that's not the one for me anymore. Very strong, very romantic nature where you're blinded by it. You're not seeing in the future, you've got your eyes shut. And you're very focused. Which has, these to me are the Pluto elements. It's like Pluto, once they've made their mind up, that's it, they've made their mind up. They're like dogs with bones, is what my family always say. The Page of Pentacles down here is maybe a helping hand, because the Nine of Wands here is like friends and family. I will get to the lovers bit in a minute, of trying to, it's like you'd rather push the barrels uphill than to walk down easily and leave them. It's like, no, I quite like a bit of a fight, or I quite like a bit of a challenge in love, and the harder it seems, the more it feels like it's worth getting type of feeling. It doesn't have to be love, it's just, it could be any relationship there. The Page of Pentacles is a very earthy card, and to have this sort of Seven of Cup cards here, which can be fantasy and illusion, and this has got this feeling to it as well. It's like you can get your way out of it because you know what you're doing, you just choose not to. Do I sound like somebody's mum? Just choose not to. Oh. Yeah, Page of Pentacles, there are ways out of this that you know and that you can do. And to me, it's like you're not ready, and your friends see that. You're not ready, you're still looking for this. And I can understand both sides of it. So let's go with how your friends see you. Your friends see you as romantic, and to the point that they may see it as a bit silly, and they're like, oh my God, they've fallen in love again. There's a feeling here there's no shaking you or changing you or getting you to change course. Until something drastically, as I said, like a kipper slap in the face with the Ten of Swords here, that you've no desire to look outside with this card and this card and these cards together of the situation that you're in. There's a strong yearning for connection, and whether it's just friends or whether it's lovers, it doesn't really matter. I know a girl who, this is how they describe a man who is earthy. He's Virgo, lots of Virgo, Taurus moon. That moon is conjunct Jupiter. And this woman I know said he's the worst judge of character of anybody that I know. And I'm thinking, well, it's going to be the Jupiter there, because the Jupiter is just very accepting. And once they've made their mind up, there's like the fixity there. The Taurus is like, well, they've made their mind up. And so that is probably what's coming into my mind as I'm saying this here. So friends will see you as a beautiful soul who is stubborn, and you just need a little shake every now and then to get you to see sense. I feel that there's a lot of support that goes both ways in the friendship though, and I think that it may be something that you laugh about here, and they know that you can do something, but you're just not ready, you just don't choose to. You want to get immersed in situations that initially may promise beauty but may be difficult further down the line, but you don't care. I don't quite know whether it is just love connections, but that's what that would suggest. Lovers, on the other hand, is like looking at it from a different viewpoint totally. It was with the first reading. See you as being strong character in love, because that is going to be quite an obsessional feeling with a very sort of, I'm going to say perverse because I want to say I don't actually mean it. Perverse, it's not really. Need to be self-fulfilled. So, and that can be incredibly potent with regards to what people are looking for in a lover. It can be very, I can't think of a different word, but growly. It's not growly, there's no such word, I'm sure. It can be very sexual. It's that ability to be able to relax in love relationships, and that ability to focus your whole intent on somebody else, and that can be very attractive to other people. And there's an element here, a bit like that Sagittarius element that we were talking about earlier, where you're not really bothered about what's going to happen next because you're in the moment. And in love, you're more likely to fall into that moment. So lovers can see possibly, there may be a danger with the Ten of Swords there, that it could get a little bit too high too quick. That could be all in straight away. But these qualities here may bulk against that a little bit, because this is more slow moving. But with that, I'm just adding that to the fixity of Pluto, is that you don't change course very easily. So a strong lover, once you've set your mind to somebody, they know that. And this can be very tantalising when you first meet somebody. But when things go wrong, it may be harder to sidestep for you and for the other person. Pluto is, isn't it? And you've got Pluto combined with the Two of Cups here, and you've got here me thinking about endings. This is how people may view an ending with you, is that it could be dramatic. It could be dramatic on both sides, and maybe difficult to end a situation because you've had your innocence and your hopes dashed in some way. You didn't really expect it because, as I said, your innocence was all in on this, and there's a playfulness and there's a youthfulness in those qualities when you're in love. But there's also an element here of you were quite happy not facing up to what maybe, and people say, I don't know if this is true, that people always show themselves to you at the beginning of relationships, but choose not to see it occasionally. So love could be a part of your life where you feel like you trip yourself up, and lovers will notice that. They will see that it's incredibly exciting, intoxicating at the beginning, but it can get difficult when expectations aren't met, and nobody's going to be living up to this. But I feel you know this. To be honest, I do this anyway, but I know it. It's, people just know it. But with the Ten of Swords here in love and the Nine of Wands, not walking down the hill, not walking away from the relationship when it's ended can be difficult. So I feel that you could be the dog with the bone at the end, where it still haunts you possibly. And people may think, okay, But it can be difficult. It's probably what I don't know how to put that into words. So that's what I've got there. How people see you and different people. You're the same. That's fascinating in its sense. You're the same person, but different people, probably because of situations as well, are going to view you very differently. And a lot of the time, I guess like 90% of that comes from inside them. There's an overall feeling here of slightly dangerous, once you're in love, playful, very much in the moment, very forgiving, but very strong. Yeah, so your friends pick you up and your lovers almost pull you into a situation that you can't say no to. Does that make sense? Okay. Right, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much, pile number 2. Bye. Hi, pile number, let me straighten these out, pile number 3. I don't know if this is age specific. Okay, I didn't say specific, but this pile feels like Beverly Goldberg. If you haven't watched The Goldberg, which I don't know which country you're from, basically it's the film where Beverly Goldberg is the head of the family, is 80. She's got that perm that your mum had, with a big sort of cauliflower bits to the side of her head. And she wears leg warmers and headbands and goes strutting through the streets, power walking. And she marches into school, and because she loves the kids so much that's what she does. She just goes marching in and being herself, which is warm and overbearing. It's a silly but nice thing to watch. This is what this feels like. The reason that I'm saying that is you've got the 8 of Wands in the centre, which is fire, which is assertive, which says what it's thinking, and people may see you like that, which is very fun-loving, very warm, likes life to feel alive. Then you've got the Hierophant and the Ten of Cups on either side of that. Both of these are like family cards. So you've got fire and family. So that is where this image is coming from. You've got the Justice card here, which gives it that element, which not the film or the series does, of, there's something lovable about it. There's something, and the Venus card as well. There's something attractive about it. There's something attractive about you that is, it's like with your love and with your best wishes, you blunder through people's lives and make them feel loved. I don't quite know what that actually means as yet. Let me see what else you've got here. The Fool card at the bottom, when I put that out, made me think that you, as I said with the Beverly Goldberg, you may be in that transitionary period where either your kids are leaving home or whether your energy is changing in some way, and that you may not be playing that anymore, because the Fool card is almost like, this is really beautiful and traditional and focused and loving. As you said, that mum or that dad or that grandparent, or it's that child, if it's a child or a teenager, it's that one that when you're going out with friends, you're the one that organises the food and makes sure everybody's cared for, but you want to have all your buddies together and you've organised this trip and it's going to be fun and you're looking out to make sure that everybody else is enjoying themselves. It doesn't really matter, but the Fool card here, to translate it to a younger age group from the Beverleys, is that it very possibly could be, there's a transitionary period ahead. Maybe you're leaving for college. and you're leaving that group, and people know that you enjoy having the group pulled together. You know, they know that you're sad, and perhaps you're trying to instigate get-togethers before you all fly off in different directions with the Fool card down here. I feel that with the Ten of Wands down here, that they appreciate, this is friends, they appreciate these Eight of Wands and the Ten of Wands, the amount of effort that you put into keeping communities, Sagittarius, Eight of Wands, their group of buddies all together. Perhaps you do plan things, perhaps you are very warm, very open, and you just love getting together. And that's what they will see. The Page of Pentacles and the Judgment card, to me, I don't really know, to be honest. The Fool card is a change. The Judgment card is also change, but it's like, as I said initially, it's like, are your kids leaving home? Do your friends see you as changing? And are you slowly asserting yourself? The Page of Pentacles, asserting is the wrong word, moving yourself into a different direction. You're the person with the big heart that keeps groups, families, friends together. What they see is you going through possibly an experience at the moment where you're changing your energy, but it's like they're watching to see where you're going, and possibly the Page of Pentacles, they always want to come back to you, or they always want to give you a helping hand. Like if you're moving house, they'll be there to help you because you've been there for everybody else. That's how people perceive you. It's got a very... I don't know. I've been watching a few. This was ages ago, and I realised that you can't really do it. It's really hard. I've been watching a lot of MBTI things, and to me this feels like ENFJ, and I don't really know much about them. I sort of gave up. It was interesting at the time. I just like looking into things like that. And the middle spread, which I didn't mention as well, had a different feeling too. I didn't mention that. But that's what it feels like. To me, it's like somebody who's outgoing, not scared to say what they're thinking, very forthright with regards to asserting themselves in group activities, quite traditional in some way, likes to keep things just so, but there's change coming in. They may see you, the Venus, and the huge amount of Venus in here, they see you as being very physically attractive, but there's a feeling here that you are going through change, and with these, you may not like it. So you could have, as I keep saying, you may be going to college, you may be changing job, and you want to keep everything just so. And you're doing it slowly. And again, like pile number one, I think there's a lot of support here from friends. Friends see you as the centre. They see you as the soul of the get-together. They see you giving everything out to everybody else and wanting you to know that they appreciate that probably. Even some realisation that you may be tired of the role that you've played up until now, to this date. I don't know what the Page of Pentacles here, because of the change here, I keep thinking that you've realised that your energy is shifting, and they're almost like watching and seeing how you're going to cope with it, and they'll be there to help you because of the the Venus, the love, the kindness, the get-togethers, the meals you've put on. You gave to them, so they'll be there to give to you. So whether that is kids looking at you and your kids are leaving home or left home, or whether it is friends supporting you, going off in a different direction, it's like you've been solid for everybody else, and that's how they see you. So you've got a lot to give, and it's like a never-ending stream, I think people think. And this is like, there's an element of watching the change here. Let me turn it to lovers. Let's see how lovers would see this energy. So if this was a lover and you came across like this, it would be a family person. They would be able to sense from the very get-go that, oh my God, first of all, you're going to be very physically attractive. It's going to be head-turning, I would think, with all this Venus here. Venus is normally very prominent in people who are extremely good-looking. You can get a family, and all the family are average. That sounds really rude, and people have got different tastes, but there is symmetry in looks, and we do automatically tend to gravitate towards people with certain symmetry. I forgot what I was going to say then. I don't know what I was going to say, but the Justice card there would be somebody who clicks those buttons in many different ways. As I was saying, I know I was going to say, you can have a family who are very average, but you get one child with Libra rising, Taurus sun, and they will take the best of the looks from like generations and generations ago. It'll just pop up in them, and it's very unfair, is what I would say. Thanks, Dad. As in, no, my dad was not that generation that was the beautiful beast. So, as a lover, people would see you as expressive. They would know that you wanted a relationship rather than just fun, but you still want the fun. You can have the fun, but there must be something to follow up afterwards, as in some sort of commitment or some sort of relationship. It's not that you're adverse to possibly a one-night stand, but it's got to have some soul to it, is probably what I would say there. Sagittarius is not adverse to one-night stands. These would be, and so I'm putting them both together. As I said, very physically attractive. They would see you as possibly, if this was a lover, being able to cope with everything with grace, with these Justice cards here and the Venus card here, as well as just being really good looking, very easy to talk to, very diplomatic, very sort of kind, always putting yourself in everybody else's shoes. There may have been a discussion between you with somebody you're close to with regards to going through a transition in life, because this is like speech and being articulate. And the Ten of Wands is like heaviness, your wicks are burnt out, and this is change. So they may know that you're going through a transition. And again, with the Page of Pentacles here, they may have offered to help you, or they may be watching you go through this. So you would come across as strong, you would come across as a family person, gracious, calm, and again, just going through something at the moment where people want to help you, but to me it feels like you don't ask for help because you're the one that always gives it to everybody else. What's going through this pile with regards to whether it is friends, or family or lovers, is that you've always supported everybody else and they want to support you back. They're just waiting for you to ask, possibly, if that makes sense. No, but lovers wouldn't play with you. They're not the type of person you come across as being, there are certain words for this, it's like having substance or being high value. I don't know what the words are, because this is like, you know who you are and you can give. But the combination here is that I can give, but don't play me around. Or I'm consistent with myself. I know what I want. I want structure. I want organisation. And I don't mean that you want to, work in a big business or anything like that. But it's, what your aims are, what your wishes are, and you're going to communicate them. But I do feel again in here that people are picking up that there's, life's all up in the air at the moment. There's change going on and they're just seeing how you're coping with it. I don't know what that means. But I'm going to finish that there. Should I finish it there? Is there anything else? What would you want to know from that spread? If that were my spread, what would I want to know? Why people find you attractive? Because you're brave, because you take on change even though they know that you like security and that you don't ask for help. There's an element here of, it's a bit like a Clint Eastwood type feeling, when he's strong and he keeps moving on his own without talking to anybody. In all the films that he's in, he plays the same character, doesn't he? What else would I want to know in this pile before I go? Why sexy? It's the same thing again. There's two parts to you. There's a part that is very forthright, very easily expresses what they're thinking, and there's a part here as well that is very focused and very quiet and consistent. It's like it's a feeling that you don't ask for much, but you're strong inside yourself. What's the change going on in your life? It's like releasing pressure. You're getting more time to yourself or something like that. This is like tied up, and then you've got here the Fool card, which is like a new journey. It's like, as I said, like kids leaving home, or perhaps you were studying and now you've got the summer off, that type of thing. And they're watching to see how things move with you. Advice, Page of Cups, is your most precious gift is your ability to give and to love, and your kindness and your sweetness. Excuse me. There's an innocence in that. That's quite difficult to say. With regards to being burnt out, I've just got burnt out. You just burn out, you need a change. Whatever change is coming, let it go. Let people go. Stop trying to give so much to everybody. Stop trying to be the one that carries the can for everybody. Because to have that twice there and to release yourself from what I guess is, something that you've always done has been very natural to you. People see you as safe. They see you as passionate and loving and able to hold other people together. I think quite a lot of people rely on you. I think friends see you as very supportive. I think lovers see you as incredibly attractive because you're a fantastic mix between being quite sexy and alive and awake with being quite controlled and consistent as well. So that is it's like being married to somebody who you want to sleep with every day. And that's quite rare. I'm sure it's quite rare. But that is what it is. It's like you give off the energy of being loving and fun and a family person, but with the Eight of Wands there, it gives you that twist that it makes you a bit of rumpy-pumpy in life, a bit of more expression and more fun, and a little bit of a naughty edge to it. So ideal lover, ideal friend is what I would say there. So I'm going to leave that there. I don't know if that feels right. Yeah, that's it. That's all I've got to say. I'm just going to say thank you very much. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you for spending your time with me. Hopefully I'll see you again. Bye.